Welcome and hello there to another video on Star Wars Armada. Bit more of a theoretical video today, because we are going to look at the Battle of Endor 2024 tournament, which you could argue is some sort of like the World Cup on TTS for Armada, where this year the great guy named Scarious is organizing the whole event. Huge shout out and many thanks to him for doing that for us and making it possible for us to actually play a TTS World Cup. These are the cool 72 people that have found themselves wanting to play in this. And if you keep up with like a bit of very competitive Armada and Worlds and stuff, you're gonna recognize a whole lot of names here. If you keep up with YouTube Armada stuff, you're also gonna recognize a whole lot of names. If I don't recognize all of them, I'm very sorry. I don't mean to like disregard any player skill, but because I don't know all of these players, I'm gonna go through the lists now, and all I will do is basically rate the lists. Run them down, try to explain a bit how I think they're gonna work, and then for every cup I'm gonna nominate my personal from the list, like not from players, just from the lists. I'm gonna nominate one list I think is going to make it to Gold Cup, and then one list I think is going to make it to Silver Cup. So basically I'm gonna try and see if I can predict which list is going to be first in the pod and which one is going to be second in the pod. So without any further ado, we're gonna hop into the first pod, the Avenger pod. So in the Avenger pod, Darfakis, a friend of mine I've recently met, shoutouts, is playing Yularen. So we have a Republic list here. And it is a fairly standard with Venator, double Pelta, and then 134 in squads. I think we all know Yularen is a pretty good admiral, especially with 134 and the double Peltas that can repair your squads. Whoop! I need to not touch my scroll wheel. I think one of the important things here is that the Venator is running Roofless, which is something you don't always see. Most of the times I think I see flight controllers, but Roofless is also very good. Other than that, I think it's a pretty standard list. The next one is Simon. He's playing Empire, and he's running a Onager testbed with Remedy. Other than that, it's also mostly standard. I mean, Price of Edgunners, Ordnance Experts, and the Red Beam is standard. What I would say is sticking out is Rakel, so he's gonna be going slow and doing extra clicks instead of having that turn one shot. As a support chip, he has the Interdictor Suppression with Graph Shift and G8. So since he doesn't do the turn 0 shot, he also doesn't need the Graph well, which makes sense. So he has G8s for slowing down enemies so they don't get out of the extra arc of the Onager very well. And he's got Graph Shift to control the objectives and the obstacles a bit more. Double Gazanti, and then like a light fighter screen. I think that would be my personal weak point for this list, is the fighter screen, because it's just for squads. If you have like a dedicated squadron player, they're gonna munch these without big hassle. Then we've got Alexander Yeo, also a guy I used to play a lot of Armada with. Also shout out to you. Very nice to see you in the tournament. He's also bringing Imperial, and he's bringing a Sloan with a Gladiator. Okay, that's not completely standard. So he's bringing Sloan on the ISD2, and then he has flight controllers, which makes a whole lot of sense because you still need some sort of carrier. With ECM, Point Defense, Ions, and XI7s. Only thing that is sadness about this ISD, like it's a very good ISD, and due to the XI7s, you only need to burn the brace of your opponent, and the XI7 kinda burns the redirect or makes it worse, I'd say. The only thing is you don't have any rerolls on here, so Ah no, I am lying. There is a Darth Vader officer on the Gazanti. So he can choke out Captain Nida once, and then he doesn't. You probably don't want to, but if you have to, you can also choke out Sloane. So you have 2 rerolls here. Well, I really need to stop touching the scroll wheel. Then we have a Gladiator with the ISD and the Gazanti. And we have Tua ECM, which makes it pretty durable. And you've got the reroll with Vader if you choke out Tua. And then Ordnance and external racks. And then for the Squadrons, yeah, I mean, it's a kind of standard. Like, there is no big upset in the Sloane Ball. You've got Mauler, you've got Merrick Jandon, you've got Sienna, Saber, and then TIE Defender and a TIE Fighter. It works, just works. And then lastly, we've got Eric Carey. Well, it looks like the list is in French because it's a. Oh my god, I don't want to butcher these, but it's a vaisseau d'assaut de classe Peta modifié. And I'm gonna stop talking French at that point again. It's also a bit weirdly formatted, but I think since I see General Riken here, that has to be a rebel list, which is interesting to see a rebel Pelta, because it's 1 Pelta and then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hammerheads. I'd say not like the expert en artillerie. I really don't know the French names well. They have an expert of artillery as captain, so we're gonna open up Ryan Kingston real quick. And I think what the captains are is for 4 points. That would have to be one of the generic, not the weapons liaison. Expert in artillery. I'm lost. I am really lost. It's 4 points. There is only a support officer here for 4 points. Huh? Am I lost now? I mean, they have Task Force Antilles and external racks, but I'm really lost on the 4-point officer here, I have to say. Because there's only 1 4-point generic officer as far as I am not blind. And that's the support officer. And I would not translate expert of artillery as support officer. But like, I don't know, man. Anyway, so this is a very cool list to see. It's Riken, so he can keep the hammerheads alive. And they're all with X-Parax and with the Task Force Antilles, so they can stay alive a bit longer. And he has projection experts and what is the... Yeah, okay, I really don't know which kind of fleet command this is. But I would bet that it is the shields to maximum fleet command, which would make a whole lot of sense. Because then you could regain the shields from you spend out for Task Force Antilles. Okay, what do I see going to Gold Cup here? I think there's 2 pretty strong contenders. I'm inclined to give more leeway to the squad heavy lists, because I personally think those work a bit better than squad light or squadless. And between the 2 squad lists, I would have to say I think the Republic list is gonna win the squad war, and the Venator can tank a whole lot. Especially with Tranquility and 2 projection experts. So obviously it depends a whole lot on how the games go, but the game goes between the Sloane list and the Yularen list. But I think solely looking at the lists, I would give number 1 to Darth Vacus, and probably the number 2 to the Sloane list, because I fear, oh, I really need to stop scrolling. I fear that the Onager is gonna lack a bit of damage. It won't kill the Captain Nida ISD2 with ECM. It just won't, because he can brace every turn. And there's no intel officer on the Onager. And the interdictor doesn't add a whole ton of damage, nor do the squadrons. And the ISD is gonna be at the Onager's throat in like 2 or 3 turns. And from there on out, the Onager is gonna lose to the ISD. And then for the Task Force Antilles thing, I just fear that the Squatless will be able to kill one of the hammerheads per turn just from their squadron complement. And then if the ships get to kill something as well, the list might not do too hot into that. Might be my personal bias, but I don't think all ship is too competitive, sadly. So yeah, those are going to be my my picks for the first pod, and I'm just looking at it. Wow, these are going to be 18 pods. I am going to sit here until tomorrow. Anyway, yeah, next one. The Podzero Adjudicator. We've got Plusian running a Yularen with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 peltas. Well, let me count that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 peltas. And then 80 points of squadrons. So Ahsoka Tano, Anakin Skywalker, X, and Kickback. This is wild. I mean, I've seen a lot of 4 peltas with Yularen and then 1, 3, 4 in squads. So I'm a bit surprised by 6 peltas. Because I would fear that they lack a bit of firepower, since they only have like 2 reds at long. And with Anakin, Ahsoka, X, and Kickback, you're not gonna kill any ships. Those are the 4 greatest squadrons. But I feel like if you're investing into Yularen, you might want to invest more into squads. And this is pretty rough. I might be wrong though. Like, he's probably gonna bring strong objectives, something like abandoned mining facility and stuff like that, where he can really force the opponent to take an engagement the opponent doesn't really want to take. It's definitely an interesting list. It has jamming field as well. I'm just seeing that now. So it can really keep those 4 squadrons alive. I'm just not sure if like this investment in all the squad stuff really pays off if you only have 80 points in squads. The next one is an Empire fleet with Moff Gerard on a Quasar. We've got Admiral Chirino and then the Squall. Oh wow, but it's running Flag Bridge with all fighters follow me. That's quite fun. You usually don't see that because Empire squads with Squall are already so fast that you don't really need all fighters follow me. We've got a Gladiator 2 with Price for dice fixing, Ruthless Strategist for the flag, Engine Techs APTs, which is nice to see, but probably not the best pick, Demo, and 2 Gozers, one with Waldar, so you've got your reroll for your non-swarm squads here, and then we've got Reimer, Vader, Jandon, Merrick, 1 Fire Spray, 1 Black Squadron, 1 TIE Bomber, and 1 Lambda Shuttle. Also, shout out to Dr. Wondertainment. We went to the last tournament together as well. Yeah, I mean, I've seen him play different stuff, but I wanted to say I judge everything by just the list. So, what's my first thought here? I think the All Fighters Follow Me is a bit wasted in this list with Squall. Because yeah, you've got the Lambda and the Fire Spray that are not as fast, but Squall fixes that. It's also very light on ship damage because you only have the Gladiator, but you can kind of try and run in and just kill all the squads, try and not trade any of your squads or not any of your pricey squads and run out with like an 8-4. So that's a good game plan as well. Okay, next we have Ziran with Martuk. So Separatists running triple Recusant Lights with just Intel and XI7 on everyone. And then 1 with Patriot Fist, obviously, why wouldn't you? Oh, but that one lacks Intel Officer. And then a Hardstyle Transport as a lifeboat with Martuk and munitions and a Guzanti. So, I think Ziran is one of the French players. I'm not sure if he's the one who made triple Recusant big, but I know that one of the French players is very good with triple recusant, and I think it's exactly this list or something like this. So definitely not to be underestimated. Yeah, again, it's like recusants are very good. Intel and XI7 is very good. Squadless is, in my opinion, a bit of a problem, but then again, separatists are a bit of a problem child. And then lastly, we've got TF 1987 with also separatists with TF 1726, as one could have thought from the player name. He's running him on a Providence carrier with 2 hard cell battle refits and a hard cell transport and 4 vultures. Only thing I think is no way, whoa, okay, this is wild. So he's got intensify firepower on it, but he also has flag bridge and Jedi hostage, which is kind of fun. Advanced projectors. Do I remember what advanced projectors is? Is that a defensive retrofit? Yeah. Wild. Okay. So he's got thermal shields and advanced projectors, so he basically makes sure to get usage out of all of his shields. So that is going to be very hard to kill Providence, especially with Beast of Burden in the back, with projection experts also supporting that. He's just going to have trouble if people start to ignore the Providence, which is what usually happens with Providence lists, sadly. But yeah, it's a very unique build. I have not seen Intensify Firepower, Flag Bridge, Jedi Hostage, and Advanced Projectors on this before. I like it. I like it a lot. I think Early Warning System might still be better than Advanced Projectors, especially since you have your projection experts hard cell in the back, which can put the shields on the side where you need it. So advanced projectors might not be the strongest pick here. It's still a good pick, though, I think, and the thermal shields makes it very tanky. Yeah, now to take something here. This is a really hard pot, I think, because I mean Ziran has a lot of red dice with his Intel Officer XI7 recusants. I think the Jerry list is gonna struggle a bit here with Quasar and Gladiator, because those are both very fragile ships that don't have a lot of damage output. And in this pod with the 6 Peltas, the triple recusant, and the super tanky Providence, it's gonna struggle taking down a lot of stuff. And between all these lists, I think the Yularen squad wall will be very hard to take down. And Ziran is squadless, and the last list is only 4 vultures. So he cannot take a whole lot of points in killing squadrons. So for me, I think the Jerry list is gonna struggle. Wow, I mean the Peltas are I really don't know how good they are gonna do. I feel it's very hard to actually yeah, to rate these in a good way. I think with personal bias, I think the Recusant Light Destroyers are going to do very good, because with every list here, they have something they can easily take out and then run away. So I think I'm going to bet on Ziran with his triple Recusants. And I think I'm going to give second to TF or to the Peltas. Let me actually think here a bit. Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna give second to TF 1987. I will see how good my predictions are gonna be. I will probably see me being completely wrong on everything here, but yeah. Let's not linger too long. I have way too many pods to cover, so Pod 1, Avenger. Also at Scarious, very nice naming, I gotta say. Adjudicator and Avenger, two Star Destroyer titles by now. We'll see how we go through, but I really like it up until now. So we have DASWA. He is bringing Rebels with Crystal Gate with an MC-80 Star Cruiser. So we've got the Liberty. And it's got Ray, Kaken, Nav Team, SW7, Spinal, and XI7. So that's a bit of an unconventional thing, because usually you either see Mon Carin here, or you see Intel Officer and XI7. Because right now he doesn't have anything to prevent you from bracing every attack, which is not optimal. We've got an assault frigate here as well with ECM and link turbo lasers, and then 2 transports and 6 YT 2400 plus a rogue squadron. Yeah, it looks like a solid rebel list. The assault frigate is also hard to kill, and it's not worth a whole lot of points. That's a very nice ship there. The battle cruiser is going to be very hard to kill. Though it has nav team, so it doesn't have engine text, so it's only going to be speed 3 and not speed 4, which is still very good. Maybe a bit not enough token support for my personal opinion. I would personally would have preferred to probably get rid of Rogue Squadron, so you have 6 squadrons, and then get some parts resupply and a comms net in here. Then we have Kaladesh. Also seen him on my last tournament, and he has brought, this is an interesting list. So we've got Ozil on an Onager testbed with Intel Officer, Ordnance Vet Gunners, Engine Tech, Orbital, so Red Beam and Cataclysm. So my personal favorite build for the Onager testbed with Ozil, so you can do your speed 0 shenanigans, which is very nice. We've got a Gladiator with Demo. We've got a Quasar with flight controllers and a reserve hangar deck and a Gazanti. And then 2 TIE Interceptors and 3 TIE Fighters. So I like basically this top half of the list. The Onager is very good and the Gladiator is very good. What I think is a bit of wasted potential, MS wasted potential, is going to be the Quasar. Especially since you're just commanding 5 generic squadrons from him. Yes, you have 1, 2 reserve hangar decks in here, but still any sort of like full squadron list is just gonna laugh about this kind of squad ball. And then the Quasar is also like a nice extra activation, but it's like it has very bad damage output. And I would have preferred to see boarding troopers here. If he'd brought not flight controllers but boarding troopers, that could have been a very nice meme. You bring the Quasar in close, your boarding troopers your enemy, flip 4 of his tokens, and then you shoot with your Gladiator and your Onager. I think that would have been just a small thing that would have made this list a whole lot better instantly. But still a good list, I think. Then Taiwan Ranta. Oh my god. I sorry if I butcher your name. I really don't mean to. I also saw him at the last tournament. We've got 3 Venator ones with Anakin Skywalker Admiral for the rerolls, which is nice. Hondo, Mercy Mission, and Tranquility. Nice to see Mercy Mission here, because if you only have large ships, it stays on the ship where it's on, which is kind of nice. So you try and play that Venator safe and you run in with the others. I mean, it is a whole lot of hull to chew through. I think it's gonna struggle very hard into stuff like MSU, because they can just kite, try and kill one Venator, and then be out, and he doesn't have a whole lot to counter that. But it's cool to see Anakin, and it's cool to see 4 larges. I mean, we had 3 larges in the pod before, now we have 4. Crazy. And then we've got Arsenius with a Liberty, another MC-80L with Crystal Gate, and here we see Mon Carin, Intel Officer, and XI7, so the double triple wombo combo, Kaken and Cholan, Engine Techs, TRC, TRC, so what he's gonna do is he's gonna use Crystal Gate to get an evade, and then use that evade for turbo laser reroute circuits to have that extra damage output, and PDSC. Very cool. Supported by 1 transport and 2 TRC 90s. No, sorry, 2 transports and 2 TRC 90s, and then a minimalist squad ball. So this is a very squad light pod. Who to give my thing here? I really like Arsenius's list. It's I think it's a bit stronger than DA SWA's MC80 build, just because of Intel Officer and Mon Karen. It has a lot more killing power than just having XI7s on your Star Cruiser. And I think the 2 CR90s are probably a better support than 1 assault frigate, and the 6 YTs are gonna struggle to get through this kind of ball. They're still gonna struggle with this kind of ball, and they are 6 black dice, so they will do fine against the Venator. This is a really hard one. This is a hard one. Kaladesh is also a very nice list with 4 activations, and the Onager that can run away, the Gladiator. I mean, I kind of want to give it to the Anakin list. That could be very cool. It's gonna struggle catching the MC80 battlecruiser and the Onager testbed. This is hard. Wow, I really can't decide here. I should have not said that I will grade these and give my predictions. But I feel inclined to give. It's so hard. I'll say it. I'll give number 1 to Taiwan Ranta with the 4 Venators, just because I love the meme. Like, this is a very cool list, and I would love to see it succeed. And I will give the second one to Arsenius with his Liberty, because I think he has a very good potential to just kill one thing in every of these lists and then get out with all of his stuff. Whereas most of these lists will struggle with killing stuff. It's probably going to be the other way around, but I want to see those Venators succeed. That is a very funny list. I like it. Okay, next, Pod 2 Basilisk. So I'm not sure if this is a Star Wars thing or if this is a Honor Harrington homage, but if it would be an Honor Harrington homage, I'd very much appreciate it. We have Spike. Also, here are all my German guys from the last tournament. Huge shout out to all of you. You're very cool people. I really enjoyed the German GT. Okay, so Spike is bringing the no, it's I saw 2 pelters. I was gonna say quad pelter, but it isn't. It is Rebel with Commander Sato with double pelters, both with APTs. No, 1 with APTs and 1 as a command ship. So no black crit here, and then 2 Hammerhead torpedoes, and then Han Solo, Tycho, and 4 YTs. I mean, I like to see Sato. I've played a lot of him as well. I think the pelters might be, I don't want to say the wrong call here, but they're very slow and kind of fragile, and so are the Hammerheads. So he's gonna struggle with getting his stuff back out of the fight if it's not a favorable fight for him. Then we have Gerrit with Riken, CR90 TRC, a Nebulon with Flight Controller Yvaris. Very cool to see Yvaris again. Haven't seen a lot of Yvaris recently. Then another TRC-90, 2 transports, and 134 in, I'd say, semi-rogue squadrons. I think this is a very strong list, because it will dominate the squad war with Riken. And it has all these small ships that are very hard to catch and can still do a whole lot of damage. Maybe has a bit less anti-ship damage than I personally would prefer, but it's definitely a good list. We've got Kaliumkrähe with TF-1726. And he is running a Providence carrier with early warning system, Jedi hostage, early warning system, and thermal shields. Jedi hostage, B2, extra point defense. Yeah, this is the whole shebang. This is the I would say the gold standard build for TF-1726 if you go with a Providence. He's got a Muni with B2s, point defense, linked, all the jazzy stuff. It's gonna be a bit tanky, but it's not the Star Frigate, which I personally don't endorse, because you really lack the defensive retrofit to tank something like an Onager or something that can always guarantee that accuracy and give you like the 7-8 damages. The Munificent is not going to sit through that for 3 or 4 turns without thermal shields. So I think that's a bit of a misplay here. We've got 2 Gazantes, and then for Squadrons, Watambor and 5 Vultures, so the big speed bump here. All in all, a good list. Maybe a bit clunky in the engage because the Munificent doesn't have engine tech, so it's only speed 2, and the Providence is very hard to get on target at speed 3, but definitely not a bad list. And then we've got late warning system with Martuk on a Recusant, Patriot Fist, Link Turbo Lasers, Boosted, Expanded. It's a support destroyer, so we've got Squadrons, and he's got 132 points of Squadrons, so very interesting to see a CIS Squadron player here. He's got 4 Hyena Bombers. In my opinion, the perfect amount. We've got a Watambor, so the Interceptor aces, both of them, and then the Fighter ace, and then a Vulture, 2 Vultures, solid squad thing. You've got your Recusant with boosted comms expanded and flight controllers that can activate them. You've got Link Turbo Laser Red Flag that can shoot into it. You've got a hard cell transport with TI-99, so if you want to, your squads get counter 3. That is also very strong. You've got the Bomber Command Center, you need that, that's very good. And then 2 Gazantes to activate the bombers probably, or something like that. Yeah, I like that list. Yeah, let's see. What do I think is gonna come out on top here? This one is also very hard. I think I'm gonna give number 1 to Garrett with the Riken rogue stuff. If he plays that right, it's a very, very lethal list, and it can avoid a whole lot of the ships in this pod, because the Pelters are not gonna be able to touch anything here, and his squadrons with Riken will eat these squadrons alive if he does it right. He's also gonna probably be able to kill all the squads in this list, and then maybe take the Munificent, maybe not, but it's also gonna be a win. If he plays it right, and then against late warning system, it depends on how the squad war goes, but I would say that probably Riken has the better chances for the squad war, and maybe he can kill a hard cell. But I will I give number 2 to him? Or do I give it to Kalium Kre? It's hard. I'm pretty. I don't know. I mean, the Pelters and the Hammerheads are also gonna do pretty good against these 2 big targets. Let's see. The Recusant really has to be disengaging, and he can't get very many points from these squadrons with his squadrons. Could get some points here. You know what? I'm gonna be unconventional. I'm gonna say Spike is gonna get second place here with the Peltas. This is like a very cool list. I want to see it succeed. It's very unique in my opinion. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'll give second to Spike. Yeah, next pod, the Chimera Thrones flagship, very nice. I really like the flavor you put into this, Scarious. You're doing well already. I mean, you're also organizing all of this, and you got it organized on time, so that's huge shout out. So we've got jammers with Ozol on an ISD2 with Captain Bronson, flight controllers, early warning system, leading shot, quad battery, and 7th fleet. So we have a second Star Destroyer, a Gladiator 2 Star Destroyer, also with 7th fleet. And it is a flag boat with Kalos Ordnance, projection, and external racks. So it's the complete support Gladiator and not the Demolisher. I'm gonna give you all the damages Gladiator. A Gozanti and a fairly standard non-Sloan squad ball. All in all, a solid list, but also one we've, like not exactly this list, but we've seen a lot of, I think. We've got Raptor. Oh my god, I'm butchering the names. I'm very sorry, man. With General Romedy on an Onager testbed with Avenger 2. The Onager is pretty standard, but we have no turn 1 shot here, which I think is a missed opportunity. We've got Avenger 2 with, it's very killy with X-Rex and expanded launchers and XI7s. Then we've got double Gauzers and a bit of Squadrons. Not a huge fan. I think it's too few Squadrons to keep up in a Squadron heavy meta, but he has had quite some luck with the pod, because there's only two squad heavy lists here, but only one that really hurts. Then we've got Armored Dillo with Admiral Akbar on an Assault Frigate Mark IIB, Intel, Kaken and Cholon, electronic countermeasures and enhanced armament, then 2 CR-90As and 2 transports and some squadrons. So this is almost the same list that I am running currently. It's a strong list. I don't think the squadrons are gonna help him hugely, because he's got 1, 2, 3. So he's got 2 A-Wing heroes and 1 A-Ring. He's got 3 Z95s and then 2 VCXs. So he's probably packing some strategic stuff in here to manipulate objectives. So he's gonna have nasty objectives. He also has 8 points of bid, so he can probably always take second here. Yeah, we have... yeah, he will be able to take a second player every time. So that might be very strong, because when you have Akbar, you want the opponent to be engaging into you, and if you have the VCXs, you can manipulate the objectives and get the stuff to you, so your opponent has to come fight you, or else he just loses from objectives. And I think that's already gonna be my thing here. I think he's probably gonna take first, because he has this list that can make the opponent come to him. And the Onager is not killy enough, I think, because it doesn't have Intel Officer and it doesn't have turn 1 shot. Yeah, it might struggle killing the Assault Frigate. And if it doesn't, this list will farm, probably. Then lastly, we've got Eldred, and he is bringing Anakin Skywalker Admiral with a Victory 1 with Hondo and Svat, a Consular as a lifeboat with Anakin Radiant 7 and Comsnet, an Acclamator 1 with Boarding Troopers and X-Rex, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 Consulars with X-Rex. I think I've seen him run more of this list, and I think he was pretty... what's the word? Pretty successful with it. I think it's a good list. This is also a hard list to do here. Is it gonna be the Akbar? I mean, the ISD with Gladiator and Squadrons is also very strong. I don't love the Onager, because I feel like the Squadrons are gonna be eaten, and then the Onager doesn't do so much, and it doesn't have engine tech, so it doesn't get out. Eldred's also gonna be very strong, I think, with his ships. This is also one that is very hard to grade. Yeah, but I think I'm gonna stay with that. I think the Akbar list is gonna be able to farm a whole lot, and I'll give second to Eldred with his Anakin all-ship, because that is very strong into these. The ISD list is not gonna do so much damage with its squadrons, because it's not Sloan and it's not the right... It's not the wrong squadrons either, but it's not a whole lot of bombers in here. The Onager list somehow just doesn't completely convince me. Yeah, next pod. My mouth is already running dry. Rest in pieces, and we're not even halfway through, so I might stop at pod number 8. Oh, it's only pod number 4. Brother in Christ. Okay, Conquest. Probably also some sort of Star Destroyer that I am not versed enough in the expanded universe to know about. We've got Smizzy with another Akbar on an assault frigate with K Cannon Cholan, ECM slave turrets, an MC-30 scout frigate with intel officer, ordnance experts, extracts TRC foresight, and then a CR-90 with TRCs, a transport, and some squadrons. Yeah, I mean, it's a good Aqua list. I think it's a bit weak on the squadrons, so if he has a squadron heavy pod, which he also doesn't, do people not bring squadrons to Endor? I'm a bit confused with the first 4 pods, but it's okay. Yeah, it's gonna be strong. No questions asked here. The aces are also strong. No Lando though, which is why no Lando? Then we've got AceCat with Admiral Piet on an IST2 with Commander Vanto, so he gets the token every turn to have a second command dial. Flight controls, reserve hangar deck, ECM point defense linked, I think that's very standard. Gozanti with Comstant Reserve, and then a Raider 2 with Iden Roofless Disposable. Ooh, a Flag Raider, but a Raider 2, that's very cool. And then a whole lot of squadrons. I think this is a very strong list. Yeah, definitely a strong list. Oop, I should really not touch my scroll wheel. Then we've got Mr. Frisky with General Maydeen on a CR-90A. And we've got 2 transports. We've got a MC-30 torpedo frigate and another MC-30 torpedo frigate and a whole bunch of squadrons. I like it. I think Medine is a bit much. I think Kraken would have been better for this list, just looking at it glancingly. Because your ships are going to be speed 3 most of the times anyway, and then making them obstructed would be stronger than Medine in my personal opinion. And the squad ball is a bit slow for these very fast and hard-hitting ships. So it's a good list, but I don't think it's like an S tier list. And we've got Niedermere with Admiral Trench, so another separatist list. And he's running double Recusant, 2 Gazantis, and 8 Vultures. And both Recusants run Sensor Team, Assault Protons, and Swivel Mount Batteries. Yep, that is pretty damaging. And the accuracy tech is nice. I think Intel officers would greatly help these. But he needs the officers for Tix and Rune Hako to get the extra tokens for Trench to use. I'm not sure if Martuk wouldn't have been a better admiral for this, because then you could have run Intel officer, and basically Trench is gonna either give you a nav or a count fire in this setup anyway. So Martuk would have probably been better, giving you that extra red dice, and if you count fire, you can even count fire on top. But he probably uses that to add another black and then have the Confire token to re-roll the die as well to fish for those APTs. So I definitely see what is happening here. Now to rate these, it's pretty hard. Ooh, these are all pretty nasty. These are pretty nasty. Yeah, I feel like the Empire player is gonna have it pretty rough with this ISD, because there's a lot of stuff in here that can kill an ISD. And I think the Smizzy with his Akbar fleet is gonna take it here, because he has a very much amount of anti-ship firepower with this, and then a whole lot of fleets that won't punish him for not taking more squadrons. And I will give second. What do I prefer? I don't think Medina is so strong, so I'll give second to the double Recusants, because I think they will be able to drill through the ISD2 and then run around, and the 8 Vultures might hold off the squadrons long enough. Yeah, that's gonna be my prediction for this pod. let's go over to pod number 5, the Devastator. Oh, these ISD names, man, they just hit differently. Okay, so we've got Lark here. Hi Lark, nice to see you again. And he's got a Raider 1, a second Raider 1, a third Raider 1, a fourth Raider in this Raider 2, and a fifth Raider, a Raider 2, and then a Gladiator, and then Cianari and Valen Rudor. Yeah, what should I say? It's very strong in killing a single thing with the double disposable capacitor heavy ion in place and things. The Gladiator 1 is going to do a whole lot of damage with demo and stuff like that. I would have wanted to see engine techs on a Gladiator 1, so everything in here can go speed 4. But other than that, I think it's a pretty good list. Severely lacking on the Squadron thing, but then again, apparently no one is bringing, or not no one, but most people are not bringing the whole shebang with all the squads in here. So I don't know. Chris MCW is bringing 2 Munificence with Martuk and Hard Cell Transport and a Recusant. Yeah, it's a bit different. Patriot Fist with quad turbo laser cannons and veteran gunners. Don't know why he doesn't take Sensor Team if he goes quad turbo lasers, but I hope that works out for him. And the Hard Cell is a Beast of Burden lifeboat. And then we've got the 2 Munificent Star Frigates with Thermal Shield, Point Defense, and Linked. They're just very solid little bricks in the way of your opponent. Then we've got Dr. Chaitan. Chaitan? Okay. And he has Honky Tonky, Janky Tanky, Providanky. I really like that that list name. That's very, very nice. He's bringing a Bruh, I need to take a pause in a second and get something to drink. My throat is already dying. He's bringing a Rebel Providence with Chris Gauge, which makes a whole lot of sense, and then a CR90 and 2 GR75s, and then a whole lot of Squadrons. What is interesting here is to see both B-Wing Aces, which he's bringing because he has Fighter Coordination Team and all fighters follow me, so he can make them basically speed 4, which is very nice. Wedge Antilles, Nora Wexley, Dagger, so a third B-Wing. We've got a VCX for the strategic in here, an X-Wing for another, no, for 1 escort, and then Green Squadron. We've also got Turn 4 for the blue rerolls. Yeah, I think this is a pretty strong list. The Providence can tank a whole lot, and it can keep those slow fighters in the game. This is very strong. I like it. And lastly, but not leastly, okay, I'm starting to be retarded. Very sorry. Is Admiral Steve with an Ozzel Empire list with an ISD2, Ozzel, Emperor Palpatine, Gunnery Team Boost, Sitcoms, ECM, Quad Battery, Leading Shots, then a Gladiator with Demo, a Comsnet, and then 124 in Squadrons with a whole lot of bombers. So we've got 2 TIE bombers, we've got Darth Vader Defender, we've got a Fire Spray, we've got Merrick Gen, and this is also a very strong squad wall. I like that. So, as much as I like Lark's list with all the Raiders, I think he's gonna struggle, especially into Dr. Chatton and Admiral Steve's heavy squads with a lot of bombers. They are gonna kill one of his small ships per turn with the bombers. Now is the question, do I believe that they will also do good against the Separatist all-ship? And I do think so. They're gonna be pretty strong. So I will give my number 1 to... Yeah, just because I think it's a bit tankier, I will give my number 1 to Dr. Chatton with his Honky Tonky, Janky Tanky, Providanky. And because I really like the name. Shout out. Very good name. And then I will give number 2 to Admiral Steve. I think those 2 are going to do very good with their big squadron investment in this pod. Okay, pod number 6, Gorgon. Well, I really have to start. Reading up on some of these cool names. So I think that's going to be another Star Destroyer probably. We've got Angry Ewok in here. I mean, I think everybody in the Armada community knows Angry Ewok, or at least everyone who's watched any amount of YouTube videos for Armada. If you haven't, if you like to watch some more Armada YouTube content and you want to watch some high quality good stuff, go look for Angry Ewok. He's made some very cool YouTube videos, and I know he's been around for forever. And he brings what he has been playing more or less for forever, I think. I think he's been playing Akbar with an Assault Frigate Mark II-B for probably most of his tournament career. It's got Gallant Haven, which I very much like. It's got Intel Officer, Kickin' and Sholin, boosted comms, ECM enhanced. It's very strong. 2 tier C90s, also good. GR75, Tor and Far, boosted comms, parts resupply, and then 3 A-Wings, 1 Gen Ors, 1 Tycho, 1 Shera, and 1 VCX. And I think that's the only thing where I'd critique the list maybe a bit, as I get the strategic, but I don't like the A-Wings much. I think they're, if you have the points, YT-2400s would have probably been better, because they get more hull, and you want more hull when you run Gallant Haven, because Gallant Haven very strong, very, very strong. Secondly, we've got Mistyach with Pepper Palpatine, Feed Pepper Palpatine, okay, but he's got the Palpatine officer, sadly no Admiral Palpatine, very sad, very, very sad. Anyway, he's running another ISD2 with Ozzel. I think that's gonna be like the thing this Endor. I think almost every pod has had an ISD2 with Ozzel. So this is our new gold standard ISD. Cool thing though, it's got Palpatine and Boarding Troopers, which is a very strong combination. ECM LGT Point Defense, standard. Gladiator 2 with Callus, Demo, Roofless. So this is the Flag Gladiator that still hits like a truck. And then we've got Gamma Squadron, Hondo, 2 TIE Bombers, Tempest, Mauler, Merrick, and Jendon. And we've got the Fighter Coordination Team on here, and we've got Hondo, and we have got Mauler in here. So this is the patented Doppelwumms-Strategie. For every German politics enjoyer, I hope you got that one. So basically what this does is you activate Mauler, you throw him in, he does his splash damage, you take Hondo, you get him back out, and then you move your Gladiator, and you use Fighter Coordination Team to bump Mauler back in. Very strong combination, especially with the Agent Callus, Demolisher, Ruthless Strategist Gladiator that can basically flag, then throw Mauler back in, throw Mauler back in, and then flag again. So it does a whole lot of guaranteed damage with the double Mauler tap and a potential double flag with double Ruthless Strategist. It's brutal into Squadrons. Okay, Aiden Broomy with the Brick-Terdictor. Very nice, very nice. It's got an Honored Testbed with a fairly standard build, Red Beam of course, and engine techs. We are lacking Cataclysm and turn 1 shot here though, which I'm not a huge fan of. And he's got an Interdictor suppression refit with Admiral Mahdi, Captain Brunson, Projection Experts, Take Evasive, Targeting Scramble, Graph Shift, Point Defense, Interdictor. Okay. So, we've got a Gazanti and then 4 Squadrons. First of all, not a great fan of the 4 Squadrons, and they don't have any kind of flag as a support. Also not a fan that the Onager is lacking the turn 1 shot from Cataclysm. It's going to be fairly tanky, but I think the problem in the end will be the Interdictor, because it is very tanky with the double tag from Captain Bronson. Because you can use Interdictor to refresh Captain Bronson. It has point defense ion cannons, and it does have targeting scrambler as well, so you could also double tap targeting if you prefer that to Captain Bronson. So it's gonna be pretty much a brick. It also has 2 extra health due to Motti, but still I think yeah, a good list can just ignore that speed 2 Interdictor, and it can kill the Onager, it can kill the Squadrons, and it's out, and it's still like an 8-3 or something. And the Interdictor just doesn't do enough damage, and I don't think that the targeting scramblers and the projection experts is enough to warrant a 150 point investment into that Interdictor. And then we have Ghost in the Machine by yours truly, Scarious. So I'm not sure if this is a placeholder for someone because we didn't have enough players, or if someone forgot to put their fleet in here. But I know this was some sort of a meme by him. It's still a funny list. It's 4 Nebulon B support refits with skilled first officer and auxiliary shield teams. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. And then a modified Pelta with Leia Organa as a flagship, which is kind of nice. It's got 4 squadrons in total, Tycho, Shara, Green, and Gold. I don't think it's the most competitive thing ever, but I don't think it's here to be the most competitive thing. I think it's either a placeholder or something for someone who forgot their list. Okay, so lists. What do I think is gonna win this? I mean, I said I don't want to judge the player, I'm gonna judge the list. So if I were to say I will put players in here as well, I would probably give number 1 to Angry Ewok. Because I'm just looking at the list right now, I will give number 1 to Mustache with his ISD, because he's got a whole lot of flag, very good squadrons, so he's gonna be chewing through all of these squad screens rather fast. And if he does so, he can use them to bomb to very great effect with Hondo, 2 TIE bombers, and Merrick and Jenton, the double tap on Merrick. That's a whole lot of bomber dice here. Wait, there's Scammer Squadron as well, so it's 3 TIE bombers. And then basically, if Hondo gets to bomb, it's 3 times Merrick steel as well. So that is very strong. And the ships are also very killy, especially with the boarding trooper Emperor Palpatine on the Ozzel, on the ISD. That's nasty. And I'm definitely gonna give number 2 to the Akbar Gallant Haven from Angry Ewok. I think that's also very strong. And I think both of these lists have the potential to easily kill the Onager on this list, ignore the Interdictor, kill the Squadrons, and be out without losing too much. And I mean, about the Nebulons, I don't think I have to say much. The squads will die. We'll see how good the Nebulons do, but once these squads get to bomb, 1 Nebulon dies per turn, because they lack the redirect. And I mean, this is just mean at long range with the assault frigate and the 2 CR90s. It's oof, that's rough. Anyway, that's pod number 6. Pod number 7, Hydra. Very nice. We've got Danger Panda running Admiral Sloan on an ISD2 with Captain Nida Gunner team, ECM, Link Turbo Lasers, and Relentless. We've got a Quasar 1 with all the standard upgrades, and Squall, of course. We've got a Gazanti, and then we've got a very standard... actually, it's not that standard. It has Captain Jonas. So the squad ball has Captain Jonas and a generic Lambda, which are 2 things I don't see too often, but they both make sense. Yeah, I think it's a good Sloan list. It's a standard Sloan list, more or less. I mean, it's ISD, Quasar, Gazanti, and Squadrons. What are you gonna do? It's like, it's nothing... You didn't reinvent the wheel, but it does work very well. No questions there. Then we've got PT-106 with Empire, Admiral Motti. We've got a ISD-2 with Motti. Relentless, Krennic Gunnery Team. Early warning system, Spinal Point Defense. 182 points on the ISD, very nice. We've got a Victory 2 with Harrow, Beck Gunnery Team Engine Techs, Disposable, Quad Battery, and Heavy Ion emplacements. A Gazanti and a Raider with Corvus Price. Phylon Q7 Tractor Beams. Okay, I don't know if I'm a big fan on that, because the Raider can only slow down smalls, because Phylon says you can only slow your own size class and smaller. I don't know. Also not the biggest fan of it being completely squadless. I think that's gonna struggle a bit. Also not a great fan of Governor Price on a Raider 1, and then you don't have any sort of crit effect. It's not a terrible list though either. I mean, you've got the crit effect on your Vicky too. I guess it's not a bad list. It's a whole lot of hull to chew through. Then we've got Mechanic with the battery ram, Separatist Moituk with 3 munificent Oh no. Okay, so it's triple strife frigate with thermal shields and everyone with projection experts, everyone with point defense, ions, and linked. So that's a terrible list right there. Oh my god. And then we've got two Gozers. Yeah, they can tank a whole lot. They're annoying as fuck. I'm glad I don't have to go up against that. Yeah, it can tank so much, it's ridiculous, and it still has good damage output with Link Turbo Lasers and Martuk. It's a good list. Still not the greatest fan of Squatless, but I get that you kind of have to run Squatless with your Separatists, unless you go 1-3-4. Then lastly, we have Interceptor with a Victory 2 with Ozzel on it as Admiral, and then Tua, Vet Gunners, Discap, Squad Battery, Heavy Ion, Harrow, Engine Tech, ECM. So fairly standard and kind of similar to the other Victory 2 in this pot. We've got a Gladiator 1 with Extracts, Engine Tech's Ordnance, and Demo. We've got two Gazantes, and we've got Merrick, Steel, Gendon, Captain Jonas, Molar, Methyl, 3 TIE Interceptors, and a TIE Fighter. Okay. Let's see. So I think he's gonna lose the squad war to the Sloan list, probably. Yeah. It's a hard one to judge this one. I think it always depends very heavily on how people play it, but I'm inclined to give number 1 to Danger Panda with his squads, because this is a pretty strong Sloan ball, especially into 2 squadless lists. Because once you burnt that brace on your Magnificent, it's just paper. Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of this squad ball over here without Sloan, because it doesn't have enough bombing power into the 2 squadless lists. So I think I'm gonna give second place to a Mechanic with his triple Magnificence, because those things I think I've played against this list or a very similar list before, and they are a pain to play against. They tank ridiculous amounts of damage, and you have the double projection experts, so whichever one you engage, it basically gets healed for 4 shields from the other 2 guys every turn, and then it also heals itself for another 4 shields, 2 shields because of repair spamming. It's ridiculously annoying. Anyway, pod number 8, the Monarch, another Star Destroyer. Very, very cool. We've got 2 Ravis with a Rebel Cruiser Gate MC-75 with a gate on it, Lander Calrissian, Boarding Troopers, Reinforced Blast Doors. I mean, Reinforced Blast Doors makes sense. If you have a gate, you don't need the ACMs. Extracts, Leadings, XS7, and Aspiration. We've got 1 TRC-90, 2 transports, and a whole bunch of squadrons. That's a strong list. We've got Mercier with Admiral Sloan on an ISD-1 with Tua and ECM. Makes sense. Flight Controller, Expanded, Boosted, Point Defense, and Linked. I mean, that's a strong carrier. We've got a Flak Gladiator 2 with Callous, Ruthless, Fighter Coordination Team, X-Rex Demo. And we've got the Doppelwumms as well, Hondo Onaka and Mauler Mytholad. This is also a nice squad ball. I think it might have used a bit more points, but it wouldn't have hurt to invest into the squads, but you would have. I mean, the ISD-1 is pretty pricey, so that's the problem here. But it's a good squad ball. I mean, it's Jendon, Hondo, Merrick, Mauler, and 2 TIE Defenders. A whole lot of bomber dice. Very nice, very nice. So we've got Backseat Admiral with Commander Sado on an MC-80 Star Cruiser. So another Liberty here. With Sado on it, it's got Liberty. So what does Liberty do? Wait, let me actually... I have not seen that title in a very long time. Yeah, it's the Squadron one. If you spend a squad token, you may activate 1 additional squadron. That's crazy. Makes sense though that if you have Sado on it, you want a squad token and then you can token 2 squadrons. That's definitely a good use. Ramus Antilles, Kick and Sholin, Ox Shield Spinal, XS7 Point Defense. Then he's got three hammerheads, all with Task Force Organa, one with Sokatano. And then a whole lot of squadrons. I think my only gripe with this is that you have Sato, but you don't really use him for anything because you don't have any black crit effects on the hammerheads. And I think the MC80 is also not killy enough. It needs either Intel Officer or Moncaron, and it doesn't have either of those, so I'm not the biggest fan here either. The squadrons are strong though. Lando, Rogue, Tycho, Nim. And Nim is a bit of a meme, but I mean, why not? It's funny. And you've got the VCX for strategic, which is always good. Also a strong list. I think it could have done a bit better with like some other upgrades, but you don't really have the points. You would have had to scrap some squadrons, which is also not great, so I get that. Sato is a hard commander to make work. And then we have Louis-Andre Saint Laurent. I think most people will probably have heard his name before in the Armada community. And he's bringing Constantine. I think that's actually one of his things to do, Constantine. And he's actually won a fair bit with Constantine, as far as I know. But then again, I'm definitely no expert in all the Armada players. I have not looked at all the tournaments and stuff. Because sadly, I have to do something else with my life than being full-time Star Wars Armada enjoyer. Anyway, he's brought Constantine on an interdictor, which makes sense if you're bringing Constantine to bring the interdictor as well. We have G8s to slow down or speed up, targeting scramblers. I mean, it's an interdictor. We've got a Raider 2 with disc caps and heavy ions. That's very nice. And we have a Victory 1 with Harrow to early warning system. Interesting. I would have put ECM, but early warning system is good as well. Boarding troopers is also quite nice. The squad ball I don't love. Jonas Black, Tell, and yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, a good list can probably, or the right play can probably ignore the interdictor. It's gonna be harder with Constantine, but then again, the interdictor also doesn't have the most damage output, and if you kill the Vicky, the list kind of lacks a whole lot of damage. Whoop. Okay, who am I going to nominate here? Who am I going to nominate here? Let's see. I think the MC75 is the strongest. I think the Sloan list is also very strong. Not the biggest fan of the Sato list, and also not the biggest fan of Constantine. So, I mean, knowing the player, if I would take players into account, I would probably rate this higher. But just looking at the list, I don't like it. So, going just by list, I think I will put the Sloan list on 1 and the Rebel MC75 with a gate and boarding troopers on 2. I think that makes sense. Okay, going on to pod number 9, Nemesis. And I think that's the last one I'm gonna do for now. After that, I'll take a quick break and do the rest of these. So we have M. Muster with Hammer Meat Anvil. We've got a Muni Star Frigate with Martuk as Admiral and all the good upgrades. We've got a Recusant Light with Vetgunners, APT Swivel, Patriot Fist. That makes a whole lot of sense. We've got another Star Frigate with Thermal Shields, Point of Final Projection, and Link. That makes a whole lot of sense as well. And then a Beast of Burden. I mean, it's a strong Martuk list with all the right upgrades. Very good. But it's squadless. But yeah, it is what it is. We've got a Loth Fuzzball. Jump around, jump master, around, jump, jump, jump. Very nice, because he has one single jump master, and apparently that was enough to name his whole list around that. Not the greatest fan of jump masters. I know people take him for intel, so your squads get grit. Personally would disagree with that and say that's 12 points wasted, but you do you. And we've got the new gold standard ISD2 with Ozil, Nida, flight controllers, reserve hangar deck, and ECM. Where are the PDICs, my man? PDIC, hello? Where LTT? Why do you take all the meta upgrades but you don't take these two? Anyway, I'm shitposting at this point, I'm very sorry. But yeah, that definitely makes sense. For carrier, we have got again, Gladiator 2 with Ruthless and all the nice stuff, and we've got a Gozer, and we've got the patented Doppelwumms-Strategie with Mauler Mythal and Hondo Onaka and the flight controllers on the Gladiator. So, yeah, there's like actually 0 surprises in this Empire list. It's strong, it works. What else do I have to say? We've got Bob Joe Rock, Gunnery Tag Team with a Victory 2, Hero, Commander Back, Gunnery Team, Engine Tech, Disc Caps, Quad Battery, Heavy Ion. Also seems to be the standard build for the Victory in this tournament by now. We've got the Onager Star Destroyer with Motti. Okay, so this is a Motti list, very nice. Makes the ships a bit more durable. Other than that, it's Price Gunnery Team on an Onager Star Destroyer. Okay, that's wild. That's actually cool. That's very nice. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, okay, it's got Gunnery Team, Ordnance Expert, Link Triple Laser Towers, Orbital Bombardment, so Red Beam. It's okay. I would have liked the turn 1 shot with Cataclysm as well. I think Onager is a bit waste, or it's a waste not to take it. That's the right kind of wording here. Then we've got a Gozer with Vader, Officer, and Comsnet, and we've got Bosk, Zerdik, Tell, and Merrick. Not a fan of 80-point squad balls, gotta say that. Also not a fan of Onager without engine techs. I mean, it's a Star Destroyer, so it can't take engine techs. It's still gonna do pretty good. I mean, it's an Onager. What are you gonna be looking at? And then Iced Becker. Also heard of him before. He's running a Starhawk Battleship Mark 1. Luckily, it's not the Agate brick, but it's Radis. He's Radising in an MC-75 with boarding troopers, ECM extra squad. Yeah, it's a very, very standard build with Profundity, and the Profundity does yeet out a CR-90B with Hondo, Onaka, and Overload Pulse. Wow, okay, so basically what this list does is it just puts a Starhawk on the table, and it's like, either you can fight me or you don't, but I'm just putting the Starhawk here and you can't engage anything else, and then he yeets out the MC-75, and the MC-75 yeets the CR-90. It's a cool list. Overload Pulse works very well on this, I think. Yeah, it's a strong list. Okay, I think just looking at these, for me, there's not a big discussion that the Doppelwumms takes number 1, the Sloan list. I think that's a very strong list, especially into 2 squadless lists and 1 list with minimal squad ball. Now is the question, what do I think is going to be working out next? I mean, the Starhawk is pretty fat. This is pretty rough for all of them. Yeah, I think I'll give the Squadless Separatists a number 2 here, because I think his ships can tank the Onager and the Victory, and they can probably out-tank the Starhawk. Can they actually out-tank the Starhawk? That's actually a good question. Can they out-tank the Starhawk? I'm just not sure if the Starhawk does so well into this list, because this list kind of snacks on the Starhawk pretty hard. But it lacks this turn 1 shot. Maybe on second thought we're gonna give second to the Starhawk list, actually. Yeah, I think I'm gonna give second to this, because the Starhawk can tank a whole lot of stuff, but the Onager doesn't have turn 1 shot, and the Hero has to get into range, and then if the Hero is somewhere, it doesn't have ECM or anything, you can just put the MC-75 right in front of it and just one-shot it pretty hard. Because you overload Pulse, and then you Boarding Trooper, and then the Victory just has no tokens left. It's just 0 tokens on it then. Oof. And then it's paper, and you just double arc with the Armor Cruiser. Yeah, I think this is probably going to Icebecker second. Very important to stay hydrated. Yeah, we've got pod number 10, the Relentless. Yeah, we've got another Separatist Martuk with very light squadrons, 2 Vultures, Flak, and Dis. So the 2 Interceptors. We've got 2 Magnificent Star Frigates with Wet and Bore, Projection Experts, Thermal Shield, Point Defense linked. Wow. And we've got a Recusant with Rune Hacko, Sensor Team, Reserve Hangar, External Rex linked, and Patriot Fist. So also pretty bog standard to Mooney Recusant. But then again, I mean, if you bring Martuk, it's pretty almost, it writes itself. And then if you bring, sorry, by duty, I forgot to say the player name, by duty. And if you bring TF, it also kind of writes itself, so that's kind of unfortunate that Seppies are a bit, yeah, boxed in with their builds right now. Or what do you mean right now? Forever. Then we've got J. Pelmani? J. Pelmani. We've got... Ooh, yeah. We've got 2 ISDs. Very nice. Finally a different Empire list. Oh my god, I see there's another very nice Empire list. Yeah, this is a nice spot. I like this. Okay, anyways, Jerry with Expert Shield Techs, Veteran Gunners, Phylon Q7s, Early Warning System, Point Defense, Linked Chimera and Entrapment Formation. So we've got the nice Fleet Command shenanigans here. We've got a second ISD with Expert Shield Tech, Boarding Troopers, Early Warning System, Point Defense Iron Cannons, and Dual Turbo Laser Turrets. That's a new one. Which one is Dual Turbo Lasers? Sorry. I haven't seen that for forever. Dual Turbo... Ah, it's the reroll, but it's the cheaper reroll. Okay. Yeah, I guess he ran out of points. The points it's not, ooh, the total points is not here for some reason. Then we've got a Gazanti with Phylons on a Gazanti. I'm not sure I love that, because it, again, as with earlier, we had a Phylons on a Raider, and they can only slow down small ships, so that's not the greatest use of Phylons in my personal opinion. I'd rather not use these Phylons and put linked turbo lasers on the ISD2. But I like it. It's a very in-your-face list with the Boarding Troopers guy. You want to go first, and then you have the second ISD2 that shoots into a ship that probably has no longer any tokens. That's nice. And then we have Ras Proteus with a Gladiator 1 with demo and all the nice stuff and engine techs. A second Gladiator 1 with without demo, obviously, since you can have only one, but this one has Minister Tour and ECM and all the nice stuff. We've got a Raider 1 with Iden Versio, Ordnance, External Rex, and Corvus. And then we've got 2 Xantis. Ah, okay, I was about to say, where is the Admiral in here? We've also got an Architans with Admiral Motti, Captain Nida, and TRC, and then 4 TIE Fighters. Not sure if I enjoy Motti here as much, because he doesn't give a whole lot of health. Every single ship here only gets 1 health, so basically you pay 24 points for 6 health, which is not the greatest. I think something like Jerry or Ozzo would have been better here, but it's cool to see a different list, even though I don't think it's super strong, sadly. And then we've got Wackler. Ja, moin. Wackler with the ISD2 with Admiral Piet, Governor Price, Gunner Chief Vanillion. Okay, that's one you don't see very often on the ISD. ECM, SW7, Spinal Armament, and Devastator. Devastator. All the fucking blue dice. Very nice. Then we've got 2 Gazantis, a Raider with Iden Versio Flechette torpedoes. Okay. Would have preferred the Ordnance experts here to guarantee those Flechette torpedoes, but it is what it is, I guess. And Squadrons, Hondo, Valen Rudor, Merrick Steel, Darth Vader, and 2 TIE Fighter Squadrons. I think this list would have done better as 3 ships, so 1 Gazanti less, and flashing out the squad screen a bit more and giving the Raider a bit more upgrades, but that is that. Now to rating the lists. Whew, this is hard. So cool lists. I mean, the double ISD is very nice. It's the first time in the tournament we've seen double ISD, so it's fairly unique. The Gladiator Raider mod thing is very unique. The Separatist all ship is very strong as well. This is very hard. I think I am going to give my first thing to Duty with his Separatists, because those things are bricks, the 2 Munificents. They're accurate hits like a truck, and most of these lists don't have stuff that can survive that very well. Whom am I going to give second? I am going to give second to Rasputius. Nah, I'm not a big enough fan of the list. Do I give it to J. Pelmani with the double ISD, or do I give it to Vakla with the Squadrons? This is actually a hard choice. Very hard choice. I think I want to give it to Vakla with the ISD2. It's a very cool build with Devastator. And he's got some good... Well, it's just Hondo, Merrick, and Vader, but they will bomb very well. Or do I want to give it to double ISD? This is very hard. This is very hard. You know what? I'm sorry, Vakla. I know you're a great guy, but I think I'll give it to J. Pelmani with a double ISD, because I think it's gonna play very well into most of these lists. And I feel like against these very much ship-heavy lists and the squadrons that can't bomb enough, the list might struggle a bit. Anyway, Pod 11, Retribution. We've got Zog here. He is running 1, 2, 3, 4 Peltas with Yularen and all the squadrons, of course. Why wouldn't you? I mean, this is the 4 Pelta Yularen list everybody knows and fears. To be personal, I think it's a bit boring to play and to play against, but it works very well. There is no question about that. We've got Arcwaller with General Grievous on a Providence carrier, Invincible, Rune Hacko boosted, Thermals, boosted comms on a... Okay, yeah, so it's got Squadrons. Yeah, it's got Squadrons. Thermal early warning system, yeah, the standard, sadly. Point defense. So this is a tough nut to crack, especially with Grievous. You can throw out your Squadrons. We've got a hard side transport with bomber command, and we've got 3 hyenas, so a bit less than... Ah, no, there's droid bomber squadron 404, so it's 4 bombers, and then 1 tambor, droid fighter, and 6 vultures. Yep, that's a very strong list. Very strong list. Very tanky, got a good amount of squadrons, and the Providence is nearly unkillable with Grievous. It's crazy. Okay, we've got Aramel with Akbar's double bubble trouble. Very strong. Yeah, Akbar's double bubble trouble. Sorry, my brain is starting to hurt from all these lists. But yeah, we've got double assault frigate Mark 2B with Akbar, both with Intel Officer, one with Vetgunners, the other with Kaken Sholden. Both with Reserve Hangar Deck, both with ECM, both with Slaved. Very strong. We've got a Tier C90 with Janas, we've got a Transport, and then we've got Lando, Shara, Tycho, Rogue, and 2 Z95 Hunters, which can be gotten back with Reserve Hangar Deck. Yeah, that's also a pretty strong list. Does very well into ship heavy that we have here. No, that we don't have here. I mean, thermals counters the intel officer perfectly, and the pelters are kind of sad either way. And last we've got Bodhi with chocolate cup. Here I come. Okay, we've got an ISD2 with Rami, Intel local fire flag, guns, ECM, LTT, Chimera, all fighters follow me. Yeah, that's 185 points in ISD2, very nice. Got good upgrade suite here. We've got a Gladiator 2 with Intel Officer, Ordnance Experts, Engine Text Demo, and External Racks. So this is only for ship killing, but the double Intel Officer is very strong. I like that. Like Intel Officer here and Intel Officer there. And then we've got 2 Gazantis and the 4 I'm gonna stop you from bombing squadrons. Okay, just looking at lists, I feel inclined to give number 1 to Arc Welder, because I kind of want to see Grievous succeed here. I personally, I'm sorry Zuck, this is nothing personal, but I hate 4 Peltas. I think it's boring to play and boring to play against. I recognize, however, that it's a strong list. The Akbar double assault frigate is also pretty strong. But I think I'm gonna have to give number 2 to the Peltas. Because these squadrons eat you alive. They eat this squad ball alive, they eat this squad ball alive, and then they go into the ships, and it's just brutal. Yeah, pod number 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 more to go. Oh my god, my sanity is starting to drain. Anyway, pod number 12, the Tyrant. Oh, these names. Galarius, you're really onto something here. I really like those. Anyway, we've got Sado Goats, very nice, from Outbound Flight, bringing us an MC-30 Scout Frigate, perfectly balanced as everything should be, but it's got enhanced armament. No. This is objectively wrong. If you bring a Sado MC-30, because I personally have played a lot of it as well, you bring the spinal armament and you go for the double arc. So you have 2 reds in the front, you make them both blacks. You have 2 reds in the side, you make them both blacks, and you fish for the crits. Anyway, no personal offense, by the way, just being dumb at this point. We've got a CR90A with Duduna's Pride and enhanced armament to have the fucking the 2 reds out the side, turn them into blues, and then get Duduna's Pride off. It's great. I love it. We've got Hammerhead Torpedo with disc caps, APTs, and Garros Honor, also great. We've got 2 transports, and then we've got Malihura, the fucking meme legend. Dude, I love your list already. It's got all the janky shit. I love it. We've got Wedge, Antilles, Tycho, and Dutch, and then 2 YTs. Mwah. What a giga chat of a list. Then we have got Nick. Nick is bringing the Giga Reddest Drop of Hell. Yep, of course. It's got the MC-75 Ordnance Cruiser, no boarding troopers though, and no not Foresight. My god, the words are starting to leave me. What is the title that I can drop another ship? Never mind, you get what I'm saying. It's got an MC-30 torpedo frigate as a lifeboat for Redis, which is very strong. And then we've still got 130 points of squadrons. Yeah. It's okay. It lacks a bit of anti-ship firepower, and I'm not the biggest fan of the squad complement with the 2 Skirks in there. And Tycho. Not entirely sure I'm loving it. It's also only 3 activations, so as long as the MC-75 is in hyperspace, you only have 2 activations, so the list becomes very predictable. Yeah, I don't know if I don't think it's the strongest you could have built. You could have made some minor changes. Also, Major Derlin, I think Expert Shield Tech is just way better on an MC-30. No Foresight as well, like, not the biggest fan, I gotta say. Benacious, bringing Moff Jarjarad on an IST-2 with Captain Nida, Gunner Team, ECM, Heavy Ions, Quad Battery Turrets. We're bringing the Gladiator 2, but in a different state this time, because we have Nav Team on here. Wild, so back for the extra click. Oh, that is a very cool build, I like that. So you take the fake Nav token from back, and you get an extra click from Nav Team for that. Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's gonna be a very nimble Gladiator 2. And then we've got the Raider 1 with Admiral Ozzel, Officer, Darth Vader, X-Trax, and Corvus. Oh, the Darth Vader boarding team, that's very cool. I really like this. This is nice, that's something different. We've got Tau Trover, Captain Jonas, Zerdic Strom, and Black Squadron as Squadrons. Gotta take a quick zip of my Coke real quick. Yeah, I mean, my opinion, 2 weak on the squads. Nice IST build, very cool Gladiator build, nice Raider build, but yeah, those Squadrons are gonna be a big sadness. And Solo Servanity. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. We have another sorry, it's starting to really, I'm starting to be retarded here. We've got an MC-30 torpedo that has Radis, and it will drop a second MC-30 torpedo. Personally, I think Kraken would have been better here, because usually if you have two MC-30s and you let them nav, they get where they need to go. You don't need Radis to drop in an MC-30. We've got a CR-90 with TRCs, 2 transports, Tycho, Martin, and 4 headhunters. It's okay. It's not great. Now, looking at these. I mean, this is hard. I mean, I kind of want to give Sato the thing here because I really like the list. I also really want to give Benacious the thing, but I feel like the red is, I don't know, man. Come on, I'm just gonna commit here. I'm gonna go with my heart. I don't think these are the, I don't know if these are the most competitive lists, but I'm gonna give number 1 to Outbound Flight with his fucking funny Sato list, and then number 2 to Benacious with his very nice, very old school, almost all ship Jared list. I really like that. I used to fly something similar to that. Yeah. Pod number 13, Harrow. Best fucking title in the game. I wish I could staple that to any ship, not just the Victory. Really like that. Okay, we've got Maturin. Hello there, Maturin, with Republic. Another Anakin Skywalker list, but this one has a lot of upgrades compared to all the other Skywalker lists. God of Victory with Clone Navigation Officer, Aux Shield Teams for the extra tankiness, SWAT for the extra pew-pews, X-Trax and Assault Proton Torpedoes. Very nice. It's got a Venator 2 as a flagship with Anakin Skywalker, Addie Gallia. Not the biggest fan of her, to be honest, but okay. Flag Bridge for the Mercy mission, and Electronic Countermeasure. Okay, why wouldn't you take thermals though? And X-Trax. We've got 1 Consular with Clone Captain Zack Enslaved, so that one will gonna shoot out the side and gonna shoot out the side ridiculously. And we have a Pal to Transport with Projection Experts, and then a Consular Armed Cruiser with Clone Captain Silver and External Racks. Again, Anakin Squadless. Nice list, whole lot of damage output. We've got Boba Fett with the Onager with Testbed with Romedy, Governor Price, Ordnance Experts, Vet Gunners, and Orbital Bombardment Particle Cannon, so the Red Beam. What I don't understand for this thing, so we've still seen quite some Onagers, but no one is taking Cataclysm anymore. And like, I don't know if I'm just retarded and I'm overvaluing Cataclysm like a whole lot, but I think the first turn shot is very strong. Because usually you have like 3, maybe 4 shots with your Onager, and maybe 3 turns. So you have, if you don't have Cataclysm, you have 3 shots. A best case scenario, worst case you have 2 shots. And Cataclysm just adds either a 4th or even a third of your firepower on top, which is like huge for 6 points. Or 5, or whatever. I'm not sure how many points Cataclysms right now, but yeah. Why is nobody taking Cataclysm? What's going on with you guys? You have Hondo and Naka in the list as well. Why are you not taking... Anyway. Starting to ramble incoherently here. We've got an ISD2 with Emperor, Palpatine, Boarding Troopers, ECM, Point Defense, and Linked. Very strong ISD build. And we've got a Gozer with Hondo, Naka, and Slicer tools. For Squadrons, we have Sienna Ree, Captain Jonas, Zyrtec Strom, and Black Squadron. Strong list. Strong list. Will gonna hurt. Again, I don't like the small squad balls, but it is what it is. Next, we have Stonewick 3, bringing us another General Romedy list with an ISD2. Emperor, Palpatine, Boarding Troopers, ECM, Point Defense, Iron Cannon. Well, do we have the same ISD? Okay, and then we have got Arquitans Light Cruiser with Captain Nida, TRC, Arquitans Light Cruiser with Hondo, Naka, Reactive Gunnery, and Linked Turbo Laser Towers. And we've got a Gozer and then a minimalist squad screen as well. And lastly, we've got Admiral J bringing an MC30 with Chris Gate. And it's got all the tankiness on it. And we've got a second MC30 that has all the tankiness as well. We have 2 transports. And we have an assortment of rebel squadrons here. Where to go with this? I think... Let me cook here. Let me cook. I think Admiral J has a very strong list for this pod, because there is no ultra strong squadron presence, and the MC30s are slippery enough that they can avoid most of the ships in this pod and then kill one thing with the XI7s. Yeah, I think I'm gonna give number 1 to Admiral J here. And then second, I will either give to Boba Fett or to Maturin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is strong. That's just 3 ships. So frickly. And I got Marcy Motion here as well. Yeah, I think Boba Fett just has the better version of Stonewick 3's list, because they are similar, but the Onager is better than double Architects in my opinion. It's just a question, do I think this more focused approach wins out on that? And I'm not sure. I think there is a whole lot of firepower, so I'm gonna give number 2 to Maturin with his Anakin build. Okay, only 3 more pods to go, and this is the one of doom where I'm in. God damn it. Anyway, okay, we've got Matchy running a Onager test bit with Piet, Governor Price, Ordnance, Veteran Gunners, Engine Techs, Orbital Bombardment, Particle Cannon, so Red Beam, Gold Standard Onager, but with Piet. Also, no Cataclysm for some reason. Do you guys all hate Cataclysm? I don't understand this. I don't understand any of this. Anyway, we've got Double Gozer, and then we've got a Gladiator 2 with Montferrat, Ordnance Expert, X-Rex demo, so kind of a flag boat, but not really. And we've got Mauler Mythol, Darth Vader, Captain Jonas, Sienna Ree, and 2 TIE Interceptors. So, not fully embraced the Doppelwumms, but still a good squad screen. Yeah. Then we've got large package with a certified bad list here. Fucking liar, by the way, dude. Anyway, hi there. Good to see you again. Hoped I wouldn't have seen you in pods, but it's whatever. Guess I'll go die. So for any of you who don't know, Large Package is a really strong player from Canada. And yeah, he's bringing an MC-75 armored cruiser with General Riken, Tornfire, Kick and Sholon, boosted comms, ECM, X-Rex, quad battery, and profundity. He can yeet out with Profanity a Hammerhead with Ezra Bridger and Ruthless Strategist. Man, that's such an annoying build already. And then we've got a GR75, and then we have a whole lot of Rebel squads. And this is like a really strong thing with Riken. The squads get hella tanky. We've got a Wedge in there, so he has the escort that he can just Riken in the right turn, and then people can only shoot him. That's a ridiculous list. I hate it already. And the Ruthless is safe from anything, and you can perfectly place it into the squad fight. Only thing I don't like about it is that as long as the Hammerhead is in the Profanity, it's only 2 activations, so that's kind of struggling a bit. Then we've got Armchair Jedi with a Reckless and Light Destroyer running Kraken, Teaks, Odin's Experts, Reserve, Hangar Deck, APT, Swivel Mount, Patriot Fist, supported by 3 battle cells, 2 hard cell battle refits, and 1 hard cell transport, 2 hard cell transports, so in total it's 4 hard cells and a Recusant, and then very few squadrons, just 4 vultures. And then it's my list. Hello there. I came in second at the German Grand Tournament with this. I think it's solid. It's an Akbar Assault Frigate, 2 TRC-90s, a transport, and then a whole bunch of Rebel rogues. Yeah, so in this part, obviously, I'm a bit biased from the players, because I know Large Package is a very good player. So that is that, but I said I wanted to only judge the lists. Now is the question: how much do I want to oversell myself if I say, well, from the lists, I'm obviously gonna win this because my list is the best one, and then I come in like 4th. It's gonna be so embarrassing. Anyway, yeah, I don't particularly love the Kraken list, I gotta say. I think that is the weakest list of all of the 4 in this pot. I think Magi's testbed is good, the squadrons are okay. I can't give... I don't know, man. I can't give myself 1 or 2. I think I'd probably give Large Package the 1 and myself the 2 here. That is probably with me already calculating in the player, to be honest. Yeah, I think Large Package's list also, like, it has the problem of just 2 activations as long as the Hammerhead is in Profundity. But it's also such a strong list. Yeah, I don't know, man. This is even harder to judge than any of the others, because I'm in here and I don't know how much I want to value my own list, because I obviously know how I want to play it and how I play it and what I think about it, but it's a hard one. Anyway, yeah, second to last pod, number 15, the Warlord. We've got Salmon here with Akbar Double Shrimp Janus. Also a nice Akbar list, so we've got 2 scout frigates, both with Intel Officer and both with TRC, which is... Oh no, one is with TRC, while the other one is with Tool Turbo Lasers. That's pretty strong. We've got a TRC-90 with Intel... Dude, you have an Intel Officer on your TRC-90. Wow, okay, that's a commitment. I gotta respect that. Then we've got 2 transports and a minimalist squadron screen. My personal problem with it is that the squad screen is just not big enough. But it's a good Akbar list, no questions asked there. Then we've got Patrick with Garmbel Iblis, and he's running Garmbel on the on another MC-30 torpedo with Ezra and cluster bombs and all the nasty stuff. We've got an assault frigate with Galant Haven, very strong, Galant Haven here. Link Turbolizer, ECM, blah blah blah, all the stuff. But this one is with expanded hangar bay and flight controllers, which is strong. We've got a slicer tool, Quantum Storm, nice. And we've got a GR75 with Wedge Antilles, okay. And then some squads. Good squad screen. Only problem I'd have with it is the 2 B-Wings. They are too slow. You don't want to go that slow with this list. Or at least sometimes you can't. Well, maybe he has Wedge Antilles to speed them up. That could actually be a good thing. Yeah, never mind. You can speed them up. Also, second or third thing I don't love about the squad screen is you have Jan Urs and Fen Rao. And then you could have had 2 more aces and you just didn't, which is not the best, I think. Anyway, we have an IST-2 Corsac 9 bringing us another Admiral Piet with another IST-2. What is with all these Piet lists? Like, either I'm severely sleeping on Piet, or people are severely over-investing in their second command dial. Anyway, it's got Vanto, Flight Controller, Expanded Hangar Bay ACM, Point Defense Link Turbo Laser, so it's like the box standard IST-2. Vanto makes sense with Piet, so you get the token, so you get the second command dial. Got a Gazanti cruiser with Comsat Reserve Hangar Deck, and a Raider 1 with Piet Reserve Hangar Deck and Corvus, so this is a sad lifeboat. And I've got Tondo, Jandon, Merrick, Darth Vader, and 5 TIE Interceptors with... this is an illegal list. Yeah, let me... We have... Hondo Naka, Jenton, Vader, right? Jenton, Marek Steel, Vader, genau. Marek Steel, and then we have 5 TIE Interceptors. Yeah, this is illegal. It's over the squad limit. I will have to text the tournament organizer. This is not a legal list. It goes over 134 max points in Squadrons. Yeah, sad to see. We will see how that will be resolved. I'm sure he didn't do that on purpose. But yeah, that's too many points in Squadrons. And then we've got TX Honey Badger with Lumi. Very nice. So we've got a we've got double Ooh, this is a different list. I like that. We've got double Lumi with EST. That makes a whole lot of sense because you can refresh the redirect and you can use it multiple times per turn to reduce the damage by 1. That's very strong. Ordnance experts, boosted comms. Okay. Thermal shields, extracts linked. I'm not sure I'm a fan of the double boosted comms here, especially since you only have 4 squadrons. You don't need 2 Venators with boosted comms. You simply don't. And then we've got a Consular Armed Cruiser with Luminara. So this would have already been stronger if one of the boosted comms would have been... no, you can't do Flag Bridge because you would have had to put Luminara on the Venator. Yeah, but still, I'm not sure about the boosted comms. The rest I like. The squadrons are again the 80 points light screen. Not the biggest fan, but it's nice. Okay, what do I think about this one? We don't have a whole lot of... Like, this squad screen is nasty, but it won't completely kill you because it has too few bombers. But this one doesn't have enough ship damage. And this list has too few squads. It might get eaten by the 2 squad lists. This one is a really hard one. Oof, this is really hard. I also don't know how the 145 points will be resolved, so I'm not sure on this one. Yeah, I think I'll give number 1 to Sam with the MC-30s, because he has enough damage to kill 1 ship per fleet and then run away. And I think I'll give number 2 to the Venators, because those are very, very tanky. They will be able to out-tank this list. they will be able to out-tank this list, and they will be able to stand in front of either the Assault Frigate or the ISD-2 and just kill them. Yeah, let's do that. I think that makes sense. So number 1 for the Akbar 30s and number 2 for the Luminara double Venators. Now the last pod, number 16, the Corruptor. We've got Relent bringing us another MC-80 Starcruiser, a Liberty with a gate. We've got Expert Shield Tech, Kick Control and Engine Text SW7, Spinal XI7 Moncaron, makes a whole lot of sense, good build. GR75, Jordan 4, Portrait Supply Bright Hope, another transport, and a Hammerhead Torpedo with Flight Commander, Flight Controller, and Expanded Hangar. That's a funny build. That is a very funny build. And then we've got Han Solo. Yeah, Lando would have been better, but I get why you use him. Fan Rao, 4 YT2400 and VCX. I'm not sure why you have the Hammerhead with Flight Controller if you use all those rogues, to be honest. I think that's kind of a misplay here in the squad department. I would have preferred a second fighting combat ship, something like that. Then we've got Wispit. Still in a trench hole, yeah. Still trench in a hole, okay. So we have Admiral Trench on a Providence carrier. We also, yeah, with no big surprises, we've got the Thermal Shield early warning system, Link Turbo Laser, Point Defense, Extract, Reserve Hangar Deck. It's strong, no questions asked. Link Turbo Recent Light Destroyer with Ordnance Experts, Reserve Hangar Deck, External Rex, Link Turbo Laser, Nova Defiant, so not a Patriot Fist. I think that's a miscalculation, since you already have enough tokens from Teaks to power Trench every turn. Patriot Fist would have been stronger here. And then Gazanti with TI-99 for the counter and flight controllers. And then we've got 5 droid fighters and 3 droid bombers. Not enough squadrons in my opinion. But yeah, you run into, you have to cut points somewhere if you do double larges. Yeah, Andrew B is bringing Krista Agate and a Providence, Rebel Providence, Nebulon B with Uvaris, a whole lot of squadrons. Strong list, yeah. Good aces. Maybe a bit weak on the anti-fighter stuff, but it's good. And then we have Mundo with a Starhawk with Radis dropping in an MC-80 Starcruiser. Not a fan of this MC-80. It doesn't have Moncaron, it doesn't have Intel Officer, it doesn't have XI7. It's not the greatest, to be honest. And the squad screen is woefully under-equipped. Charbet and Tycho is just not a good squad screen, especially not in like a game where you have this 134 with 2 B-Wings and Nora Wexley and Kian Farlander, and you have triple hyenas. Like, that is just not an acceptable squad screen. So for the last pod, I will give out number 1 to Andrew B with the Providence carrier with all the squadron stuff and the good squad ball. And I will give number 2, will I give that to the L with this weird squad screen, or will I give it to Wispit? I think I'll give it to Relent with the somewhat weird squad screen and the somewhat weird Hammerhead, but maybe that works out well enough. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you watched up until here, why? Are you retarded? Like, I don't know why I'm making this long of a video, but I also don't know why you would watch it until the end, because it's probably like an hour and a half long or something like that, so brother in Christ. Anyway, if you have your own pod predictions, or you think I'm woefully wrong on something, please do tell me in the comments below. If you want to see more from the World Cup, I mean Endor tournament, to be strictly correctly speaking, I will probably record my games, and as long as my opponents are fine with it, I will put them on YouTube as well. So if you want to see those, subscribe to the channel. hit the like button, do all the sellout stuff. No, I'm not doing that. Like, I will never earn my money with YouTube, so you do whatever you do. I'll probably post those videos on the Armada hub anyway, so you are not gonna miss them. I hope you enjoyed my rambling. I hope I haven't like horribly offended anybody with my predictions here. And I hope I haven't like offended anyone with my list criticism. As always, it is not meant personally, and I did not mean to offend anyone. I hope we all have like a very cool tournament. Again, huge shout out, huge thanks to Scarious for organizing Endor this year. He's doing all of this for free. He's doing it for passion and for Armada, and that is a very, very cool thing. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Have a good tournament, and good luck, guys.